We are here today at the AI4 conference with QQ Bulbul, of course, our AI explorer from CNQQ. We are going to go through all things AI transformation and see how the enterprise world is being transformed right before our eyes. We are here at the AI4 conference. We're seeing how AI is reshaping industries, and CNQQ ETF offers investors access to China's broader innovation ecosystem, spanning AI, semiconductors, advanced manufacturing, and digital platforms. It's going to be such an exciting day, and we can't wait for you to join us.
So most people know one part of your story, but throughout your basketball career, you were also leading Westbrook Enterprises, which we just heard has founded, owned, or helped scale over 40 companies.
Yeah.
So what should people know about your business initiatives and what should technology?
I think one thing about technology, which I'm it allows you to be able to take an idea. It allows you to be able to reach millions of people across the world. And for me, my business initiatives are based around community, based around people to be able to connect and technology with the best of the world.
So two of the companies that you founded, Honor the Gift and RW Digital, operate in very different industries. So what made you create each one and what connects them?
One, I think the big thing about it is community is a big part of it. Why? To make decisions like this. RW Gift allows you to be able to tell stories, talk to you about culture. RW Digital allows you to be able to connect your brand, connect different audiences. In the internet base. To me, it allows you to connect both of them to tech and community and
The problem with AI is not anymore clever innovation. It's all about adoption, right? At PayPal, for the last 25 plus years, we have been trying to simplify our product infrastructure to make it into simple, usable products. Similarly, we are trying to remove the complexity, right? Taking it the last mile, making it so that merchants can remove the friction in adopting our infrastructure. So that's been kind of our focus, and I feel getting that complexity out, removing the friction, will make AI adopted more at all these merchants. You download that within your environment so that it's running on local computing. Right. So it's secure, so you don't have to worry about your code going down. And for the engineers, what we did is we created a self-learning loop and memory preservation. So what it does is every time it sees a new pattern, it takes a couple of tries because it validates and certifies it. But till it finds the new pattern, it will iterate over it a couple of times. But then the next time will just do it immediately. So now what we have packaged is we've given this software to everybody, so they can just download it, and it automatically upgrades your version of your software to the latest PayPal version. Finished validation, certified, and all done.
So, and I'm sure there's a lot of CTOs, CIOs out there that have been very nervous about letting an AI into their production maintenance systems, especially running autonomously. What do you do to build that trust on them?
So, the best way I would say is autonomy is not a single step. It takes a while to get the right one. Even at PayPal, I would say about a year ago, my engineers were very skeptical about AI, right? They were like, okay, I'm not sure whether this is going to be useful as it is. So we had this a lot of back and forth. What we did is we started out with code assist, right? So simple code assist and so forth. And then after like maybe 3 months, we started getting into root engineering. We are the trusted provider of PayPal wallets, right? So You get all the information from payments and shipping information and so forth. And recently we have integrated a lot of merchants into the catalog and order management system. So we can get the inventory information and the order information. And then we can seamlessly drop the order to the merchant. Meanwhile, our trust and security infrastructure is scanning through all of those things to make sure it's a legitimate buyer and a legitimate seller. The end product is network plus identity plus trust and the infrastructure all given to you in this one single click. And now the merchants don't have to worry about the customers being legitimate. The customers don't have to worry about the merchants being legitimate, right? This is what we call KYA. Like we have done KYC, which is know your customer, and KYB, know your business. Now we are elevating it to KYA, know your agent. So now with a single click, you can do that. The point is not just reducing friction, we are just removing friction completely, right? To sum it up, what's happening is internet commerce is moving to social commerce. Social commerce then now move to agentic commerce. But in all the scenarios, it's about the three things that I'm talking about. How do you remove the friction? How do you make it simple to do? And what we are doing at PayPal is how do we take the identity, the trust, and the KYC, KYB, and more really KYA to really build that back. And by building that backbone, we now help any businesses to do trusted commerce and not having to worry about the legitimacy of the customer.
I don't think there is beyond human abilities yet in everything. It's obviously better at people at a lot of things. We're still better at some bits of reason. When we're getting to the point where it's going to be smarter than us than everybody. Most experts think that's going to happen sometime in the next few to 20 years.
There is economic motivation for certain kind of rhetoric to go extreme because they suppress this, for example, open source of AI models and softwares. It doesn't mean you shouldn't support closed source. This is a very free market. But that extreme rhetoric, all the way to the point of alarming policymakers in a very irrational and unscientific way, is going to harm our society. So where I stand in this whole AI debate is, let's bring science, not science fiction, back to AI debate. The public needs education, it needs respect, it needs good, healthy scientific communication. AI, by and large, is a tool. It's a rapidly evolving tool where so much of our public, many of you are probably not in the audience. I'm talking about students, teachers, nurses, parents, people who need to understand what this tool is, to think about where their kids' future is, where their own jobs are. Need to be brought into this conversation with much more rational scientific discourse rather than this fear-mongering rhetoric. Silicon Valley loves talking about productivity. And tools like AI improves productivity. It increases productivity. We also have another word we need to think about, and that's prosperity. Increased productivity does not translate to shared prosperity. So it's very important as we look at the job changes. Some are for the better, some are different, some are likely for the worse. We think about the holistic shared prosperity. And that's the kind of conversation we need to be having among us.
So as basically as AI rules, I don't see a plausible flaw to closing this context advantage for everybody or even for a large fraction of businesses that need to be feasible for many decades, I think. And so this is having a more automated message of saying these learning tools really empower, we know more than the AI does, and we do much more. That's actually important in terms of helping our young people have a realistic view of the future into the place.
We are here with Bright Data today, and we are excited to talk about all the things that AI is just, how it's changing the market. We are here at the AI4 conference. Ariel, tell me a little bit about yourself and what Bright Data does.
So I'm the Chief Product Officer for Bright Data. I'm responsible for all the the products that we develop, past and present and future. And what we do is we provide structured web data for AI. So that's AI training of LLM, like big models, or for agentic access. So for AI agents to have uninterrupted access to the internet, to get a nice, concise answer, so the token consumption is minimal, and reliable information from the internet. Because an AI agent without internet access is not really useful. So
that's very, very important. What do you think is like the real foundation for AI agentic, like the evolution that we're seeing happen right now? In just like, is it infrastructure? Is it chips? Is it platform capabilities? What is the real foundation here?
Yeah, so it's interesting because all the conferences that I've been going to, people are actually talking about how to make AI deployments, especially agentic AI deployments, economically viable. They are actually not going for the most sophisticated models. Okay, sometimes they'll go 3 or 4 models back because those models are more than enough for the applications that they need. You don't necessarily need to have the most expensive cutting edge model. Compute seems to be kind of a solved problem. And what we see as the critical factor is access to data. Because you have, as I said, if you have an agent and it's not really aware of its surroundings, it's not aware of what's going on in the world, what's the weather, what's the market doing, what product prices are like, are things in stock or not, it's not really useful to the consumer. It's kind of like owning a book, right? It's kind of fixed in time. So models are absolutely becoming more sophisticated, but for many implementations, that's kind of wasted effort and budget. So we think that data is really the critical factor for success.
What do you think is like the biggest bottleneck that we are seeing today with this transformation that's happening? Is it infrastructure? Is it, again, chips, compute, as you were kind of talking about? What do you think is like slowing things down right now?
Well, if you want to do things that scale, maybe chips and compute, this can be expensive or can be difficult to get a hold of. But if you're a builder and you want to try something, or if you're maybe doing something for your enterprise and you're starting out small, we do see that you can get things going. Okay, you can get some kind of an instance going, a GPU or something that can get you going. You can have access to a model. And the challenges that we see builders facing is, again, data. So the thing is, when you build something, and you try it at a fairly small scale, everything works, everything's fine. But when you go to production, when you start throwing real users at it, then the internet behaves completely differently. And your agent starts getting blocked, or in some cases, which is really interesting, even lied to. That is to say that websites will give you inaccurate information. Which is extremely dangerous.
How important is access to large scale public web data becoming, how important is that, especially with the infrastructure that's needed to train and scale agentic AI systems?
Okay, so if you think about an AI agent, it has kind of two, I would say, 3 phases of information. The first one is the model that it's using. It has been trained on a certain, corpus of data, and that's kind of fixed in time. Then you can import some information into it that's kind of fairly static. Maybe you would fill it with all the products that you are aware of. Okay, so the products, the dimensions, the descriptions, the reviews, those things are kind of static in time. But then, again, let's assume this is a hypothetical shopping agent that you're built to help people find the best product. When the user of that agent wants to actually go ahead and buy the product, you need to provide them with the real-time price and availability of that product on the retailer side.
How are you kind of helping with that data integrity and making sure like those checks? Because otherwise, when you review it with the human eye, obviously, hey, maybe there's one price that's really changing the average. But how are you at scale dealing with that?
So, traditionally, Bright Data has been a web scraping company. We're providing huge amounts of data. I'm talking petabytes. Thousands of terabytes of data, huge amounts of data to customers in the e-commerce space, for example, and travel space. And what's happening now with agentic is that all of those things which were done kind of asynchronously, meaning that you would download some information, it would be used maybe tomorrow, are now becoming real time. So when someone types something into a web, a chatbot, and it goes searching the web, the information needs to come back immediately. The way we do that is by actually not being detected as a bot in the first place. So we have a huge infrastructure where we can send requests via millions of IP addresses, including browsers, for example, that go out and click on the different elements on the page. All sorts of things that make it so that the website sees a real human interaction and therefore provides the real information that would be provided to a human.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Well, thank you again, Ariel, for your time today.
You're welcome.
We'll have to check this out. I mean, this seems like probably the coolest booth of the mall here today. But thank you again.
Very good. Thanks.
All right, thanks.
See you.
Appreciate it. What's up, everyone? We are here at the AI4 conference with PayPal. Bo, tell us a little bit about your role here at PayPal and what you guys are looking to do here at the AI4 conference this week.
Sure. So my name is Bo English-Vichling. I'm the Vice President of Developer Relations. So I run the teams that do all of the developer platforms experience and integrations as well as developer relations. AI4 for us is really interesting because we're also looking at frontiering and pioneering our agentic commerce.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why we are here.
Yeah, it's especially I think it was mentioned in the keynote, 400 million customers.
That's
I mean,
right.
something like insane amount of transactions.
Yeah, 1.6 trillion.
Oh my,
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
just kind of unfathomable.
Well, it's 1.6 trillion money movement that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, when you think of like what is the real foundation for agentic AI, whether it's chips, compute, or infrastructure, what do you think is like going to be foundational for just building and scaling all of the transactions you guys are handling?
I think to what you were alluding to, it's actually all of those, but it's also the agreement on a standard protocol, which I think is probably going to be key. Because you remember the internet boom, right? There was a standardization that needed to happen for that, which didn't come until a little bit later. And you might be younger than me.
Of course, I remember
so
that.
you might not remember that, but that is one piece of it. And as adoption grows, obviously you need hardware, you need infrastructure, you need standard protocols, you need people contributing, you need demand, you need buyers. So all of those things need to happen in parallel.
On the flip side, what would you say is like the biggest bottleneck that maybe, again, with the scale of PayPal, like you guys are going to face as far as dealing with the scale?
Well, PayPal is a trusted consumer product and merchant product, obviously. But a lot of folks still aren't totally trusting of an agent buying and purchasing things on your behalf, right? Vulnerability that recently happened. So you just never know what is going to happen with AI. And I think the trust factor needs to be built.
Yeah, what do you, I think, I mean, if you can even share, like, I mean, how do you do the double validation with these agents saying like that, hey, they have the authorization to make these transactions versus, just an agent that maybe is
gone
fraud.
rogue?
Yeah, exactly. Fraud or gone rogue.
Well, I mean, what Srini mentioned in his keynote earlier today was we've got agents that are validating on both sides, right? So we are doing both parts of the network validation to make sure that protocol or those transactions are secure and safe. Obviously, it's a proprietary thing, and that's the thing that makes us a differentiator amongst other payment providers.
Yeah.
But yes, for us, that is the most important thing is, security and vulnerability and safety. We want to make sure that people feel comfortable using PayPal online.
Yeah.
Just the same way as you would normally if you were using your PayPal app.
So we're here at AI4, what is something you're excited about that you guys are excited to share about here at PayPal? Whether it's a future product release or something that has already been released in the past couple months?
What Srini mentioned today was our AI integration agent called Maya. And that thing reduces migration workload times from weeks to just hours today. And so we're validating that and piloting that with multiple different merchants today to make sure that works. And it's proven time and again that it is shortening our cycle by almost 80%.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
if merchants need to migrate, for example, we have secure tools that are available to help you with that.
Yeah. I'll end with this as the last question. You mentioned a great point of like 80% efficiency almost.
Yeah.
What is something for you guys maybe at PayPal that you guys can like look at for ROI on AI? Because I think that's a big thing, companies spending billions. Like how are you looking at that? And it sounds like, drawing efficiencies like with.
I know a lot of folks are concerned that AI is creating mass unemployment, right? But I feel like AI is actually changing the way we look at coding, engineering work, and we're shifting the work to a slightly different model, which is that engineers are now being asked to be the judgment layer rather than the coding layer, right? And that's the kind of, I think, the trajectory that most companies are moving towards. And I start to see more and more of that in engineering as you kind of lift the hood and look at how companies are doing that. And so it's about writing the correct prompt. It's about logic. It's about, making sure that the agents are actually building the thing that you wanted to build, because it may look accurate, but there's probably something underlying that isn't totally accurate. And so as a developer, you need to have that judgment, the taste, to be able to say, no, that's not correct, and I need to go back to the drawing board. And that is a different conversation, because it's more strategic, it's more visionary, it's more, kind of idea and creative. And to me, that's really exciting. And I'm excited to see that developer shift.
Well, thank you both so much for your time today. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys have an amazing AI4 conference. All right.
We're excited to be here. Thanks.
Well, obviously, the world has moved our direction. Basically, agentic is how do you make processes run better? And SAP's been around for 50 years.
Definitely,
And everything we do is run the business process. How do you make your business process more efficient, more effective, all that kind of stuff? And so when the world decided AI is going to go toward agentic, it's absolutely in our wheelhouse. It's exactly what we do. We've always tried to optimize your processes. Now we're doing it through AI. NVIDIA, right place, right time, right? Now the most valuable company in the world. But the value is moving upstream. I mean, over time, it's going to be how do you make software better? And everybody talks about the SaaS apocalypse, right? That's not actually going to happen. Because you got to report your numbers to Wall Street on time. Therefore, you are going to need software that has systems of record and all that wonderful stuff. The real question is, how do you empower people to do a much greater job with the AI as a tool? One of our founders, Hasso Plattner, had a huge speech back in 2017 about how the world is going to get a lot more autonomous, the autonomous enterprise. At that time, the breakthrough, the large language models, everything hadn't happened yet, but he foresaw that future, right? How do we get a lot more automated? How do we do a lot more business without having to add a lot more people? And so the future, in our opinion, is the autonomous enterprise, where suddenly financial reconciliation becomes a lot easier, or a supply chain shock is easier to plan around, right? So all these things are going to become easier, but does the basics of business completely go away and we write everything from scratch? No, I don't think so.
Of course not.
I think it's going to be a great tool that makes everything run more efficiently. The interesting thing about AI is that there's going to be a charge for the agent, right? The agent does a transaction, and it costs you 5 cents in tokens, whatever it is. So you have an idea what it's costing. It's going to inspire the companies to start tracking more about the value that it produces. In the past, I mean, I hate to say it, but a lot of companies would say, oh, here's a project that's going to cost us 5 million. We project it's going to save us 20 million. The truth is, very few people actually did the math after they signed it, after they did it. They actually didn't measure the return. We've got tools now like our Signavio stuff, which is like process tracking, and LeanIX that sees how the enterprise is happening. But we're actually making measurement a lot easier, and I think it all goes hand in hand. The agents are going to deliver value at pennies. Let's face facts, right? It's going to be pennies. At the same time, we're going to be able to track the amount of work that it got done. I've never felt more empowered. This is kind of a personal thing, right? But like, I created a couple of software applications that I would have had to have programmers help me do. And it's amazing. You've never felt more empowered as a human being.
Definitely.
That you can accomplish what you want to accomplish. Now I've realized, by the way, that the devil's still in the details.
Yep.
I can
100%.
I can do a little bit of vibe coding.
Yep.
It's really, really cool. And then if you want to like release it to the world, another 95% more effort to kind of get the security right and get that. Yeah. So I've realized there's both sides of this. The creativity part's amazing.
Yep.
At the same time, I feel so empowered, but I also realize that the real world requires solutions that are reliable and responsible and all that wonderful stuff and ethical.
Thank you so much for your time today, and I really appreciate it.
Great meeting you.
Yeah, you as well.
Thanks.
What's up, everyone? We just got done with day 2 at the AI4 conference with CNQQ and, of course, our QQ Bull and CNQQ ETF. But with that said, man, what an amazing keynote with Russell Westbrook, Fei, Andrew Ng. And we met with some amazing companies like Bright Data, PayPal, and SAP. And the AI agentic future is here. It's happening at large scale. These companies are preparing faster than ever. So, what were some of your big takeaways from today, man?
No, I think it's just really good how everybody is ready. Like you say, everybody's prepared, and it seems like they are with it. They're hitting the ground running, and they're geared to go. And everybody's looking forward to the future and the next thing and how it can best help them get forward with their companies. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think a couple of big themes from the keynotes that I took away was, really people want to see AI as a tool. They want to see it help humanity solve cancer, solve the world's hardest problems. And then also too, just seeing that, there's been this narrative in media with, jobs are going to be replaced. Like, you literally think of like jobs and AI, replacement is in the middle. That is literally what Fei said. And so I think that is just something that people wanted to create FUD on.
Yes.
But it's really the way you want to see AI is it's a tool. It is going to make you absolutely more productive. It's going to allow you to do things that you would have had to pay someone thousands of dollars to potentially do, but it allows you to become the builder and not just someone who's standing on the sidelines. So I think that's the biggest things that I took away.
Huge takeaway, yes. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that. I think people kind of forget the fact that it's a tool first, and that, we got to use these things to help us get better in the future. Yeah, there's that narrative and all the fear and uncertainty and doubt, and everybody wants to cite the Terminator as a documentary. It's not. It was a movie. And so we're looking at real life.
The Netflix documentary? No, I'm joking.
We're looking at real life now. What's happening right now is that AI is helping so many industries and so many people, and it could potentially get even better and help even more in the future. It's not gonna take over and ruin our lives and kill everybody. That's just a narrative that they spin thanks to sci-fi movies.
Yeah. So huge shout out to all of our followers and listeners. Test Owner Silicon Valley here reporting at AI4 Conference Day 2. And shout out to CNQQ ETF for allowing us to be here. And of course, we always have our real world AI Explorer, QQ Bull, our AI Explorer. So with that said, we're reporting out, and we hope you guys have an awesome day.